Okay, I want to welcome everybody to today's training. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I'm Pratt. I'm your coach and trainer, where every Tuesday we meet and we hope to grow together, grow your business, grow your mindset. Today, we're going to grow marketing. My favorite topic is marketing. And today I've got a lot to cover. So I'm going to, in the hour that we have, I'm going to just be covering a lot, talking fast, because I went through this and I'm like, what do I need to take out? What do I need to add? And I just don't know, other than I just need to go fast to leave you all better than I found you today, because today we're going to talk about marketing. And I believe that marketing is one of the most important topics, skills that all of you could ever learn. It's one of the highest paying skills. For me, it's one of those skills that when I mastered it, and I wouldn't even say when I mastered it, when I started to learn more than my competitors about it, everything changed and everything became easier. And I want you to know that your competitors don't know what they don't know. They don't know what we're going to cover today. Their idea of marketing is different than what your idea is going to be. Marketing is one of those terms, when we say it, we all have a different idea what it looks like. So today, I hope to not only educate you in the area of marketing and proper marketing, but equip you with what marketing you need to go out there and get results in a way that is big and easy. So with that, I'm going to share my screen. I do have some slides to share, and I have some goodies to share too. So I'm going to put in the chat. I'm going to give me a second. How do I do this? Upload. Hold on to everyone in the meeting. There we go. I'm going to give you two things. I'm going to give you a guide. This is the Pratt guide to marketing. I was looking at this today. Let me know you got it. 80 pages, chock full of straight up marketing. A lot of the things that I'm going to cover today are covered in this guide. So if I do talk fast, you're like, slow down. I'm going to tell you, hey, go to the guide, man. We don't want to slow down. But that guide I shared with you, it's right there in front of you. Can you give me a thumbs up if y'all see it? You can download it in the chat. Perfect. So just go ahead and click that, download that. You'll have access to that guide. Don't go through it now because I'm going to present now, but you will have access. The other thing I'm going to upload is a program creator. I'll cover this here in a little bit, but this is a model for you to be able to create programs out of thin air. So I wanted to give those two things to you so I can dive in, and I'll revisit there when I come back. There we go. And by the way, anybody in the waiting room that's coming in does not have that. So I will be sharing that again. So with that, let's get started. Marketing mastery. This is what it's all about. This is where I'm going to show you how to get your phone to ring, how to generate and convert more leads. There's one area to focus on in growing your business. Marketing is it. So what I want to do is I want to share a quote with you. It's actually one of my favorite quotes. I love quotes, if you can't tell. Not only do they motivate me, but they are words of wisdom that are ingrained in me. I think about these things all the time. I tell myself all the time, get in the arena. Get in the arena, folks. Here's what this is. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short and again, time and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails by doing so daring greatly. So that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. That's from Theodore Roosevelt. I call them the pirates who do nothing. The pirates who do nothing are the ones that criticize you. The pirates who do nothing will tell you that marketing isn't important. I'm going to tell you, as I told you before, it's a lonely world at the top. And the reason is because in that cave is where the results come. You get rewarded in public what gets practiced in private. If there's anything I can leave you with, it's the practicing in private so we can all reward you in public. But as you're in it and you're in it to win it, you're alone, folks. I'm not there patting you on your back, but I am there as a chip on your shoulder that can be talking to you. And so I hope to do that today with marketing. And as I said, I am going to be going fast, so let's get after it. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to change your mindset. Stop thinking like a real estate agent. Think like a marketer. You're in real estate, but you're not a real estate agent. Think I'm in real estate, but I'm a marketer. I'm a marketer who happens to be in real estate. When we put on our marketing hat, it allows us to think like a marketer. The best of the best agents out there think like marketers. And this mindset's important because if we think about any other way, then we're not going to be thinking through the right filter. This is Dan Kennedy and myself. He's one of the guys that taught me most about marketing. And most anybody that I know that is an amazing marketer, learn from this guy. He is the OG. He is a legend. And he taught probably more millionaires than anybody I know. And Dan Kennedy says, take a look at what everyone else in your industry is doing, then do the complete opposite. You'll probably be very successful. And let me tell you something with this. I couldn't agree more with that because let me pause this real quick. I want to make sure I'm good. There we go. We are. Make sure I'm recording. Hold on. We are recording. Okay. We'll have to make sure we get that taken out, even though we probably won't. There we go. So here's how we change our marketing. The best ways to understand that there's branded marketing and unbranded marketing. Branded marketing, think in terms of Coca-Cola. Unbranded marketing is what I'm going to share with you today. Most real estate agents out there do not have the money to go out and build a brand, but we do have the money to spend to be able to put a message out there and get a result. So in direct response marketing, the most results will come from unbranded. They don't know who we are, but it allows us to get our phone to ring. Consistent versus inconsistent. And we don't want to play it safe. We want to think outside the box always when we're thinking and doing marketing. The best marketing is done outside the box. And the reason that this is it requires us to go learn it. So when I say it's a high paying skill, what we want to do is we want to stack our skills. And sales being a skill, marketing being a skill. Once we learn sales, marketing is going to supercharge that skill. So look at it like it's worth your time. I would invest all your time, effort, energy into learning marketing, the right marketing, because it's going to help you not only generate leads, but also help you consistently grow your business. And this is Zig Ziglar. I used to go to Sunday school with Zig before he passed. He was a Sunday school teacher. If you don't know Zig Ziglar, the guy's a legend. He is a sales marketing trainer, you could say, I guess, life trainer. He always had a quote that I love, and it's timid salespeople have skinny kids. And not only do I share this picture because I have tons of respect for him, but nothing's changed. You know, from when Zig was alive, training people, nothing's changed. Even today, the agents that don't understand marketing, that don't think of themselves as a marketer, are going to have timid kids. The people that aren't prospecting for new business every day are going to have skinny kids. You know what I'm saying? We want to be able to leverage marketing that gets our phone to ring. And I cover marketing arsenal. I talk about it a lot because it's one of the most important things to not only generating, but also converting leads. But I want to go deeper into each of these things and what you can do to implement these programs in your business and why it's so important. And I'm going to come back to the ultimate question. This is this. Everything in marketing and real estate comes down to this question. Why should a prospect use you instead of a competitor? Now, I want you to let that question marinate. I want you to think about it, meditate on it, never forget it, and ask yourself this question in everything we do. Is the why? And it's not because we've been in business 87 years or we have our ABR or CRS. The question is they're looking for something specific, what we can do to save them time and money. And their attention span is that of a flea. So we got to get the message delivered usually in less than one sentence is what I will tell you. That's why a good marketer is able to say one thing and it solves a lot of problems. As you're going to see, my goal is to equip you with that one thing to say that removes all doubt. But in the absence of that one thing, it creates nothing but doubt. And that's what the 95% of the agents out there don't do that the 5% do. I want you to understand this. In your business, 95% of the transactions are done by 5% of the agents. So you have 5% of the agents out there doing the majority of the deals. And I've tried to poke holes in this. I tried to go to markets where it was different. I'll tell you this. I've been in every market other than 2 states, but 48 states, done thousands of seminars, met thousands of agents. In most every market, it's like this, that the 5% are doing the majority of the deals. And so here's what I always ask. Here's one of the things I would do early on. One of the first things I would do when I flew to a new city is I would go grab all the magazines. I'd go to the gas station or the grocery store, and I'd get the Homes and Land magazine. I'd get the real estate book, and I would just flip through and I would see who the competition is. And I could tell within seconds of looking at either of those books what type of market I was in. I could tell what type of competitors the people I'm about to speak with have. It spoke everything to me. I could take those magazines into the seminar and give example after example of what to do and what not to do. And most everybody in those seminars could back up what I said because they know the people in those magazines. Now, magazines are one thing. Social media is something we have more of now. But one thing never changes is marketers. Their media may change, but how they market doesn't. Because when you find something that works, it works. The words I'm going to be sharing with you today are words that I've shared with so many people for so many years. And the reason is because they work. Why, Haas, do you talk about the 89-point marketing plan so much? Because it works. And once those words are in us, that's where everything changes. Here's what the 5% have in common. They run their business like a business. They're a business person who happens to be in real estate. They're a marketer who happens to be in real estate. So because of this, they're good on the phone. They're good face-to-face. They have a unique value proposition. They don't get stumped much, so they don't stammer much. And this is the 5%. So what we want to do is obviously for you to be in the 5%, avoid the 95% of the folks out there circling the drain that don't know how to get people in dialogue. So they don't pick up a phone. They don't want to set appointments because they don't know what to say. So they're not getting opportunities to get face-to-face, and they can't separate themselves from their competition. That's the number one thing right there. If you cannot separate yourself from your competition, real estate's going to be tough. Do y'all agree with that, by the way? You can just shake your head. Make no mistake. We are in the getting the phone to ring business. We are in the separating ourselves from the million other real estate agents business. And here's the best part. Make no mistake, it's easy. But we got to have a clearly defined plan, because in our marketplace, we solve problems. That's what real estate agents do. We solve problems. That's the value we bring to the market. So the question is what problems are out there? Well, everybody needs to sell their home yesterday, right? They got to sell it fast. Everybody's looking for an aggressive agent. Nobody's looking for a timid realtor. They want aggressive. They want a marketer because they can't afford to pay the commission. Maybe they're looking to pinch the pennies. They don't want to pay the commission. The last agent they used never communicated with them. They never did anything to market their home, and they wondered why they paid that agent so much money after the fact, and they're not going to make that mistake again. They want to sell their home on their own because of this. They want to save the money. The market's hot. I don't need a realtor. So I don't want to be locked into a contract. What if I'm not satisfied with your services in 4 weeks? You see, these are the pains that you're going to come across in every conversation. So here's what you do. You create a program that solves all of these problems. And that's really, to me, what marketing is. It's creating programs, having a solution to every objection you're going to hear. This allows you to not only separate yourself from everybody else, but it allows you to be able to overcome any objection you're going to hear. Like if you heard me on the phone, many of you have, you listen to my live calls. What do I say every time? The same thing over and over. Because why? There's not that many objections we're going to hear. And there's not that many solutions we need to solve those objections. So if you're like, oh my gosh, elephant, how am I going to eat this thing? The answer is one bite at a time. We're going to go one bite at a time because when we do that, it will solve a lot of problems. So I don't want to overwhelm you because we're going to provide these solutions. Because if not, we don't get people in conversation. I'm going to tell you this real bold and directly. If you don't have programs that solve your prospects' problems, all the conversations are going to feel awkward. They're going to feel sleazy. You're not going to get people in conversation, and it's going to feel very uncomfortable for you. Just a fact. when we approach this thing like the doctor and we have solutions and we ask questions leading to the pain, and we know it's not about us, it's about finding the pain and provide those solutions, it changes everything. And this is where we want to be, is we want to be that doctor. But you see, that doctor needs a prescription pad. You know, they can have all the solutions in the world, but if they don't know what the pain is, they can't prescribe the right solution. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into this. I'm going to go into each of these and equip you with some solutions today, folks. Some solutions that you can take today and start using. Let me give you a little disclaimer. Everything that I'm going to give you, I said it and created it before it was created. I'll say that again. I made up the certified pre-owned program as I was driving to a listing appointment. As I saw a sign that said certified pre-owned cars, it got my mind running because I think like a marketer. And so I think, well, this makes sense. Why not certified pre-owned homes? Man, that makes a lot of sense. Well, what would it be involved? We'll make it easy. And here's what happened. I got that listing appointment. I used it on that first appointment and got it. Didn't have all the signs made, didn't have contracts done, didn't know how it all works. So I want to give you creative permission to create your own arsenal on the fly, in the moment. And that skill will double your income. If you can come up with solutions on the fly in the moment, you can double your income with that one skill. I promise you. So with that, though, I'm going to help you with some of this. We want a certified pre-owned home program because this is a win-win for everybody. It's going to allow you to sell more homes, not only sell more homes, but sell them for more money. And as I said, it's easy to implement. I mean, I created this thing in 5 seconds on the fly. And I had this image in my mind as I drove by the Mercedes-Benz dealership that said certified pre-owned home. And I remember thinking, well, how would this work? And I thought about the certified pre-owned cars. Think about this. And I had this image in my mind. Now I have it on a slide. The car on the left, let's say it's a Mercedes-Benz. It's a 200, whatever, no, it's a $42,000 car. It's a certified pre-owned car. It comes with a 1-year warranty. The dealership's they've already done a 161-point inspection, and everything on that inspection report's been fixed. And you get free oil changes for the first 6 months of owning the car. There's another car on the lot that's not certified. It's less money, $2,000 less at $40,000, but it's as is. By the way, how does as is make a buyer feel versus certified pre-owned? That's called certainty in the product they're buying. When you can inject certainty in the transaction, you can charge more money. Transactions are easier. You attract more buyers for those transactions. I mean, let's face it, we're all smart. Unless you're a mechanic, you're going to choose that car on the left. And it's no different with a certified pre-owned home program. We want to be able to position and market our homes in a unique way that separates our homes from the other homes in the market. And a certified pre-owned label is like a good old cattle brand. It gets us more money every time. I mean, look at this. Let's take the home on the left. $298,000. People are like, man, where do you get that house? That house is like worth $700,000 today, by the way. Doubled. Welcome to Texas. I don't know if it's doubled where you are, but it has down here. That house is worth $700,000. So here's the deal. It comes with a 3-year home warranty. By the way, the seller's going to pay for the home warranty anyway, right, y'all? They pay for it 99% of the time. So we're going to get the seller to pay for it up front because they're going to pay for it anyway. We want to inject as much certainty in this transaction as we can. We're going to have a pre-inspection report done to make sure nothing major has been done with the house. So I'm going to get my good old inspector, Tommy, out there. Tommy's going to do a quick inspection, give us a quick report. It doesn't need to be super in-depth. It doesn't need to be 90 pages. We're looking for major things here. We're looking for things that would prevent it from being certifiable. I may have an appraisal done in some markets. Some markets, I may have a pest inspection. But here's the thing, big and easy. I'm doing a 3-year warranty on it, and I'm getting some sort of inspection done on it. And I'm going to slap it with my certified pre-owned my pre-owned logo. And there we go. We have a certified pre-owned home. I got the question this week. Well, Haas, can I do that? Who is the certified police rolling around town making sure homes are certified? It's you, by the way. This is your program. This is my program. I created that. There is no authority that we need to go make sure that we have it all. Like, you are the authority, and our programs reflect that. So we have a certification. You know, they got to have these appraisals. I always give it a little certification, make them feel good. The home's been certified. Here's the good news. Statistically, and this is a test in our market, when we did this, it was 4.65% more money and 28 days faster than the MLS average is what certified pre-owned home programs sold for. So I'm giving this to the seller. This is a value. Do you see how, when I'm talking about my certified pre-owned program and how I'm going to market it, they're not wondering how long I've been in real estate or how many homes I sold last year. You see, I'm not getting those questions because I'm bringing solutions. In the absence of solutions, I get questions like, what are you going to do to market my home? How long have you been in real estate? Well, what's your commission? Well, what do you charge? You see, we're going to change the conversation. And this is how you do it. And we want to maximize it. Not only on current listings, but even on listing appointments, going after our current listings. If a listing of yours isn't selling, then, and let's say maybe they're getting cold feet, they're wondering, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. You need to bust out the certified pre-owned, say, Mr. Seller, I got an idea. We need to get this property certified. Here's how it's going to work. It's going to buy you some time. It's going to make the seller happy again if they're not right now. It gives us, here's the other thing, scripts and dialogues. And every solution gives us words to say. You know how many times I've told sellers on the phone before I ever met them, Mr. Sellers, is this a certified pre-owned home? Well, what do you mean? Well, you know, buyers are looking for properties that are certified. They're looking for homes that are that provide certainty. No, it's not certified. Well, Mr. Seller, certified pre-owned program sells homes for 4.65% more money. I'm going to come by, sit down, and show you exactly how this program works. And just like hook, line, and sinker, we get them every time. Why? Because we create interest. And if we can create the problem that they didn't know that they had, we win. Get in the habit of building the skill of creating problems people didn't know that they had. I have goosebumps right there, by the way, on my head. That means it's really good. When I get goosebumps on my head, I'm telling you, that's good. Like that right there is a nugget that everybody needs to take on to. Get in the habit of doing that. 800 call capture, digital marketing, and a certified pre-owned in all of our marketing and advertising. Look, I thought about this in 5 minutes. It's made millions of dollars for agents. That's a marketer. A marketer is always looking for a solution to that problem. Here's one, a performance guarantee. This is a big one. Some of this may make some of you uncomfortable, and good marketing does make people uncomfortable. That's why it works. That's why I love it, by the way, because it gets people to respond. So think about a performance guarantee as this. It guarantees your performance. Like, do you have that now where you can say, I guarantee you this, or I will do this? The chances are most agents don't. And if they were able to solve that one problem, it would make a lot of conversations easier. It would allow them to convert a lot more prospects. So here's how it would work. The pain is, I want to sell the home fast. I'm looking for an aggressive agent to get the job done. You see, in marketing, you have two segments of people. The met people, these are people who would recognize your face. And then you haven't mets wouldn't recognize your face. So if I'm marketing to the haven't mets, I have to have a different approach than my met database. So this is part of you are so focused on your met database, and maybe you're getting some results. It's giving you permission to not do what I'm telling you because you don't have to, because you have so many people that know you. Even with the mets, you got to get better at marketing. But I want to show you how to get so good where you can go after anybody who doesn't know you and get results immediately. And that's the art of this, is being able to go after FSBOs, expireds, a farm area, absentee owners, open houses, short sales, probate leads, REO, you name the niche, you name the market. You could just be a simple farm area. All of this stuff is going to be really important in going after them. Otherwise, you know what you do? You waste tons of money. You mail postcards that don't have a message. You have websites that don't have offers, and you want to get results, but results don't come, and they're never going to come unless we get in the direct response space. So You can brand your name in your face all day long with your Mets, right? These folks already know you, but you still need programs that solve their pain. I just may change the program to get their attention, right? So if I'm marketing the Habit Mets, I'm going to brand a performance guarantee. Why? Because I need their attention first. Let me tell you something. My face ain't going to get their attention, right? Because they don't know me. But a powerful, aggressive headline is what we're looking for. Here's what we're looking for. When somebody looks at your marketing piece and they go, it's the who, why, what, when, where test. We want the response to be who, why, where, what, when, me. That's the response. When you mail something and they're looking at it, what? So the marketing litmus test is who, why, what, where, when, me. So when they get it, they see a powerful headline. What? This agent says he's going to sell his home in 39 days. He's going to sell it for free. The last agent didn't do anything to communicate. What is this? And by the way, nobody else is doing it. Your competitors aren't doing it. It's the only thing that they see that gets their attention. So this is why this is important, because we need their attention. Now, I leverage this program in my business for years. I've tested different things. If I were to, and I've mailed hundreds of thousands of postcards. You're looking at the postcard that got the #1 response that I've ever got. This postcard, if I mailed postcards, my phone rang. People just replied to it. Here's why. It's not because that ugly mug, okay? They're not calling me because my face that blends in with the black background. They're calling because of the headline. That's a call to action. And so we want a call to action when we're marketing to people that inspires them and interests them to take the next step. I'm going to show you an example of this. This is Monica. She's the #1 listing agent in her market. She hired me to coach her since the first day she got in real estate. She was thankfully referred to me by a friend. She was in real estate. I said, I'll coach you. And here's what we're going to do. And I said, we need a performance guarantee. She goes, I don't know. That makes me uncomfortable. I go, I know, Monica, but people don't know you. They don't know you're in real estate. So we got to go after people who don't know you. And the only way that they respond is they only care about themselves, their time, and their money. So we need a message that will inspire them to reach out. And so I gave her the same thing I'm giving you. And here's a fact. She went from being full-time school teacher to the #1 listing agent in her market in less than, that says 2 years. It was in less than 6 months. And so in less than 6 months, she was #1. That was in 2014. I started working with her like 10 years ago, maybe by 13, and before she won Marketer of the Year. And she's still the #1 agent in her market. She does everything that I'm telling you to do. Here's the good news. She didn't have any bad habits when she came to me. I could give her a system and she would just follow it. And she did. And so she won Marketer of the Year 1 year with it. And I won Marketer of the Year as well, too. But, that's the requirement. If we're going to learn marketing, we got to study marketing. Here's one. I heard an ad the other day. It was from Joseph A. Banks. And on the ad, they say, come into Joseph A. Banks this Saturday. Buy 1 suit, get 3 suits free. That's how they say it, too. Free. There's always enthusiasm in these ads. Why? Because enthusiasm works. Enthusiasm is an extension of marketing that you should be enthusiastic about. So if I go into Joseph A. Banks this Saturday and I say, Joe, like I'm getting ready to fly to Florida. You folks are in Tampa on Thursday, by the way. Me and Lisa Copeland are doing a seminar down there. If you're in Florida, we check it out. I don't have the link right to send you, but let me know. I'll get you the link on Thursday. Lisa and I will be down in Tampa. And let's say I got to get a new suit for the occasion. I go into Joseph A. Bank. I go, I want this $1,500 suit. And I want, wait, let me back up. I want this $200 suit. And I want these 3 $1,500 suits for free. What's Joe going to say? No. Well, I saw an ad that said buy 1, get 3 suits free. Yeah, but that's not how the program works. It's buy 1 of equal or lesser value. Anyway, I'm sure there's restrictions. I'm sure there's rules around his program. Like there's rules around my performance guarantee. Can I let a seller price the home at $30,000 above market value and expect it to sell in 29 days and and waive my commission? No, I'm the doctor. That's not how the doctor works. I'm in charge. Every program has rules and restrictions, no different than this program, no different than the Domino's pizza performance guarantee. Come delivered hot, fresh pizza delivered in 30 minutes or it's free. This company right here, by the way, I heard this story because I worked with Dan Kennedy, who did Domino's marketing. He implemented this in their business. They were like way down in the pizza chain. When they implemented the hot and fresh delivered in 30 minutes or it's free, they went from zero, like wherever they were, to number one. It boosted their sales tremendously. And so here's what I see. I see the same thing in real estate agents. When they're able to deliver a guarantee, they're able to back up. Not only does it back up all the marketing you do, but it gives a seller or a buyer certainty in you. And that's what good marketing does. I love me some Cutco. Here's another one, the forever performance guarantee. If at any time you're not completely satisfied with the performance of your Cutco product, we will correct the problem and replace it 100% guaranteed. So what is your Cutco guarantee in your business? And it can be as aggressive or non-aggressive as possible as you want. But I'll tell you, be more aggressive than makes you feel comfortable, because here's why. With the proper program, you're not rolling around town selling houses for free. I mean, here's how I would present it. Mr. Seller, here's the guarantee you called on. If I don't sell this property in 39 days, I'm going to sell it for free. But let me ask you a question. Would it be worth the wait if I could get you an additional $30,000, $40,000 in your pocket, but it took me an extra 30 to 60 days to sell the house? Would that be worth the wait? And every time I ask this question, what do people choose? To wait. Why? Because they, as I already told you, they care about their money. That's it. So they care about their money. So they always choose this. So Mr. Seller, our 89-point marketing plan can get you more money in your pocket. Now that this 80, and I go right into the next program. You see, but these programs, it gives us something to talk about. Next thing is an easy exit listing. You want to make it risk-free for your prospects to use you. So if they're not satisfied, then they can fire you. Now, I don't want you thinking that, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be selling a bunch of houses for free. Oh, I'm gonna have a bunch of people canceling their listing. See, that's not a marketing hat. If that's what you're doing right now, is finding reasons why this won't work, I need you to think like a marketer. Stop thinking like a real estate agent. Think like a marketer, because an easy exit listing is a no-brainer. And here's what it is. If the client's not satisfied with your services and you can't fix the problem within 24 hours, you're fired. You know, just because they call you and fire you doesn't really mean they want to fire you, by the way. What it does is it gives you an opportunity to resell yourself and your services. And in a market where the average days on the market will be longer, will grow, like in the year ahead, we have more inventory. There's going to be a thing where you got to maintain the relationship with sellers. And so some of you haven't had to experience that yet because you've had homes selling in like -5 days and you've had 77 offers and it's been easy to manage sellers. But in a different market, and I believe we're heading in that market where we're going to have more inventory, the average days in the market's going to be longer. Look, this is good news for you. When you're doing these things that I'm sharing with you, this is good news. That's the market you want. Like I would have anywhere between 80 and 100 active listings during that market. With everything I'm sharing with you, 80 to 100 was my number to have active at any given time. Now, maintaining those relationships with 80 to 100 is another training. But today, we're talking about how to get those 80 to 100 listings. And the answer is in marketing, it is not in my good looks. So it gives us the opportunity to resell ourselves. Why do we give restrictions? Well, you know, I like this. I like to give a little window, you know, it's called a cooling off window. Like, give me a little time to solve the problem. You know, if they say I'm canceling today, and let's say I do let them out, then there's going to be, in this example, I would have a 15 or 30-day written notice because we need to wind down the marketing we've already been doing. And it's illegal to market a property that I don't have listed. So Mr. Seller, 2 weeks, we'll take it off the market. I'm still going to try to sell the home. We'll start to wind down the marketing, but you give us 2 weeks. And by the way, nobody ever does that. Like, I could count on one hand how many houses I sold for free. I could count on two hands how many people took me up on the easy exit listing. And usually it wasn't because of my services. It was because the job transfer didn't go through. It was something in their life, that anybody would have let them out of anyway would have happened. You see, that's what I find. I find most agents would let a seller out of a listing agreement under the right circumstances. I believe most people do. Nobody wants to be working with somebody that doesn't want to be working with them. So slap a label on it. You're going to let them out anyway if they don't like you. So call it an easy exit listing. It makes it risk-free for you to use us. It gives you the message and the words to use both over the phone and face-to-face. And as you know, marketing is that. It's creating something that gives us a message and equips us with the words and the value proposition. That's what marketing is. That's why we have an aggressive marketing plan. This is huge. Look, I need you to be able to answer this question. What are you going to do to market my home? I'm waiting. What's the response? What's the response of what do you do to market my home? Well, I hear this all the time. Well, the people are lying when they do that. They don't have a plan. Well, so do you do the old, or do you say with boldness and confidence, Mr. Seller, I'm glad you asked, right? That's what we're looking for. That's what the seller is looking for. We need a marketing plan that separates you from the tens of thousands of realtors that are your competitors in your market, that overcomes the, what are you going to do to market your home question? And that a seller will always hire the agent with the most aggressive marketing plan, and most agents don't have one. I believe that most sellers, do y'all agree with this, by the way, will hire the agent with the most aggressive marketing plan? Now, this is what I always find interesting. That seller's not a marketing expert. So why am I applying for a job in the area of marketing when the seller doesn't even know what marketing is? See, that's a good question. So we have to articulate marketing to where that seller will receive it. Lack of marketing is obviously a huge problem in the industry because agents don't know how to overcome the objection. So here's how you do this. Have an aggressive 89-point marketing plan that is designed to sell homes fast. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the thing that is the reason it does this. The feature, the benefit. Feature is our 89-point marketing plan. What's the benefit? It works like magic in selling homes fast, the most amount of money. It gives us the words to say. Now, some of you may be looking at this going, oh my God, 89 things. That's going to cost me $1 million. I don't have the staff to implement 89 things. Here's what I'm going to tell you to do. Put your marketing hat on, take your realtor hat off, marketing hat on. What's the answer in the 89 things? These are things that you're doing already usually. It's just defining the steps. You know how I got great, and I'm a great marketer. Some people say I'm the best. Look, I know the best. I'm not the best, but I've learned from the best and I pay attention to everything. So that may make me the best in real estate, but I pay attention to everything. And one of the things I remember back in 2012 was this guy. And this is Herman Cain. Y'all remember Herman Cain? Ran for president. He was the CEO of Godfather's Pizza. Man, just tons of charisma, charm. I love this guy. And he was at the bottom of the heap. Okay. This was back in 2012. America was looking for what? An aggressive real estate agent. I mean, an aggressive president that was going to get the economy back on track. And all these people, they would always, you would always hear in the news, and I pay attention because I'm a marketer. Well, what is your plan to get the economy back on track, Mr. Candidate? What is your plan, Susie Candidate? And they would go, well, glad you asked. And they didn't have a plan. So they couldn't answer the question. And it was obvious they didn't have a plan because they didn't have a plan. Here comes Herman Cain, bottom of the heap. Says, I got a plan. It's my 999 plan. My 999 plan is going to turn this economy around. It's what I've done in every business that has turned it around and made it successful. The 999 plan is going to put America back to work. Here's what happened. He went from 0 to #1 in the Republican side. 0 to 1. Why? Because marketing solves all problems. And Herman Cain understood that. He knew he may not know what's in that 999 plan, but he knew that he had a plan. And that's the thing for you. You may not know what's all in that 89 marketing plan, but by God, you got an 89-point marketing plan. I mean, think about it. The reason you want to be specific in marketing is because it separates you from everybody else. It makes it memorable. So that's why I use numbers a lot in things, because it makes it specific, right? So I don't want to just say I'm an aggressive agent. I want to say Pratt has an 89-point marketing plan designed to get home sold fastest, most amount of money. I've said these words thousands and thousands of times in almost every conversation and almost every appointment. The words 89-point marketing plan are usually always followed with designed to get home sold, just like yours in Willow Bend, fastest, most amount of money. It's the reason we outsell the average agent, Mr. Seta. Are you familiar with the boom? And I'm moving them on. You see, we're not going to keep beating a dead horse. If I was asked what you do to market my home, I'm going to give you the answer, but I'm not going to rehash it and rehash it and rehash it and rehash it, nor do I have to, because I had that answer, it removed all doubt. And so I hope you guys know what I'm saying is I'm thinking about this just vision in my mind. That's what we're going for. 89-point marketing plan is going to get us in the door. And here's the thing. I want you to implement one. You don't need to have, let's say you don't have an 89-point marketing plan. I don't care. Come up with a 7-point plan, a 9-point plan, 77. I met a guy who had a 201-point marketing plan once. Like, why do you need a 201-point marketing plan? He goes, to compete with your 89-point marketing plan. I'm like, well, you got a point. So this just gives us a message. It gives the seller certainty, security that we are worth the chops. We got the chops and we're worth the commission they're going to pay. So create a marketing plan for your business. Here's what's going to happen. It's going to make every conversation easier. And that's what we're doing here. Every conversation, every objection getting overcome with ease. The Smart Seller Program, I'm going to speed up because I got some more to cover, folks. Are y'all with me, by the way? Can I check in? Is this helpful? You guys are like, man, it's too much, Hosh. You talk too dang fast. I warned you. Thank you. I warned y'all. Okay. I do have slides here. So I'm sitting, when I'm folding, I'm like, where am I in this heap of slides? Talking about marketing, our favorite topic that we're becoming great in. The Smart Seller Program was created in less than 5 minutes, folks. I was on a seller appointment. They said they wanted to wait till Friday because they had a Timmy who just went and saw the property on Monday, showed up with his mom, told him that they were going to be writing an offer for Friday. So I'm sitting here. Am I supposed to wait for this seller and wait for Timmy to bring this offer? The answer is no. I'm the doctor. I'm in charge. I'm going to create an opportunity in a program to be able to solve this on the fly. And that's what I did. So I created a Smart Seller Program. Been used tons of times since then, by the way. This thing right here, many of you use it. It's a program that you offer to home sellers that allows them to sell the property themselves while it's listed with me. It comes with a menu of commission rates. It comes with the easy exit listing agreement, no hassle presentation, sell it yourself option. I'm going to tell this quick story. So I'm reminded of like I would study. When I give this stuff to y'all, I didn't just create everything on the fly. It's because I studied the best. Like I would get on airplanes as an agent and I would fly and go pay the #1 realtor in an area to just come in and shadow them for a day. And I would learn from them and they would teach me, they'd show me behind the curtain. Like I would see what the best of the best has done. And now since then I've been able to coach and train the best of the best, but I've studied the best of the best. I remember agents like Pat Hyben, who was the #1 agent in the East Coast at the time. I remember flying out there, seeing him. What was his secret sauce? I was always looking for the secret sauce. You know what I always found? Solutions. I always found performance guarantees. I always found some sort of no hassle program, like the no hassle program, the Smart Seller Program that had every one of them had everything that I'm sharing with you. So if it's good enough for the top 1% of agents in the country, it's good enough for you. And there's a reason that they are #1. And there's a reason that they use these programs, because these programs are what got them there. And it's going to do the same for you. So if you don't have confidence in these things, have confidence in the fact that they work and top agents are doing this. I was in Nashville the other day. I saw the number one realtor, one of the top realtors in the country. I know him. I'm not dropping names today, but like I saw him. I saw billboard after billboard with his message. We'll sell your home for free. We'll sell your home or we'll buy it. Well, and every billboard had a message exactly what I'm telling you to do. And I love seeing that because I'm like, see, it worked then, it still works now, and it will forever work. So the seller procures the buyer, they pay 0% commission. I can count on one hand how many times I had sellers that were able to sell the home while it was listed with me. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I know I can't do that because these people would be selling the homes and I'd be out of a job. See, that's the wrong hat. The marketer hat says we know that they're going to do nothing with it. So, and they don't. I want you to know they don't. People don't continue to sell their home on their own. So make it risk-free. Tell them in case Timmy comes back, you don't owe me nothing. The only thing they can't do is put a sign in the front yard. My sign goes in the front yard. They can't keep their for sale by owner sign. But then they're like, well, my sign needs to be in the front yard. I'm like, Mr. Seller, I'm gonna give you an example. Only 1% of the time a home is sold, it was from a sign. Signs never procure the buyer, usually. In fact, only 1 out of 100 times. So, we know this. So like, it's not because we want our sign to be in the front yard. It's just because laws, but like, don't think that, just because your sign's in the front yard that you're going to procure the buyer. It only happens 1 out of 100 times. You see, they didn't know they had that problem, did they? That's the problem that they didn't know they had. They thought that the sign was good enough. And I say, no, it's not. You didn't know about that problem, did you? Now, offering a menu of commission rates. Speeding up. Here we go. Here's what it would look like. I'm not telling you what to charge. I'm telling you what I charge. I'm telling you what my menu of commission rates look like. So if I tell somebody you can sell your home as little as 0%, it's because they sold the home on their own. They procured the buyer. If they take that buyer and they're like, okay, but I don't know how to do the contract to close. Here's the buyer. Here's the offer. What do we do from here? I offer a 1%. I will take them from contract to close. And that's not me doing it, by the way. It's my transaction coordinator who I paid $300 for us to get 1%. It was a profit center when they did this. Again, very rarely happened though. Never really happened, but boy, I could say it, we could offer it. If it ever does, 0 and 1, baby. Have a licensed realtor represent them in the transaction. And you only handle the paperwork, not negotiations. 5% if I procure the buyer. So Mr. Seller, I'm not going to be greedy. If I procure the buyer through our aggressive 89-point marketing plan, and it happens a lot and it can happen, we're going to give you a discount on the commission. So of 1%. So I'm going to give you a break. In the event that another agent brings the buyer and procures the buyer, I take 3, they take 3 at 6%. This is our menu of commission rates, Mr. Seller. Depending on what happens, what we're going to charge, this is how the program works. Boom. That's it. That's the conversation around commission. Well, I don't want to pay 6%. Well, now we can overcome this objection all day long. Right? So then, but offering a menu of commission rates, it gives you a message that's not just one thing. Communication guarantees the next thing you're going to implement. The communication guarantee is simple. You're going to call these people every week. And if you don't, then there's a consequence. Why do we say this? Because we want them to know we're going to call. Every week, we're going to call you, Mr. Seller. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. I don't care if I have nothing to say to you. You're going to hear my voice every single Tuesday. And if there's one Tuesday I don't call you, you can fire me on the spot. And or you can pay, I'm going to pay you $500. So we want to leave this appointment with them knowing with absolute certainty that we will be communicating with them. Here's the other thing I need. I need you as the agent to be forced to communicate with your sellers. And if you're not forced to communicate with your sellers every week, you are not going to call them every week. Here's what's going to happen. 2 weeks are going to roll by. Maybe you got 2 showings. And every day you're going to be thinking about that seller. You're going to be making assumptions. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Wondering if they're still happy with you. wondering if any moment that phone's going to ring and it's them decide not to sell. Is this just me or is this y'all too? Is this y'all? Do y'all do this or is it just me? Every time wondering, you check your email. Is it going to be an email from them? Because I haven't heard from them in 3 weeks. You need to pay attention to the energy that is being taken from you because of lack of systems in your business. And a communication guarantee is a communication system. You know you're going to talk to your sellers every single Tuesday. They know you're going to talk to them every single Tuesday. What happens on those Tuesday calls? Results. What went on this week? What are we doing this week? How's it going? Here's the plan. We're here. Great. Talk to you next week. But some of these times, a conversation is going to happen where you need to get a price reduction. You know, you're going to need to ask that seller for them to lower the price by 15 grand because now we have some data. So what this does, it's going to help you have those conversations. And this is going to allow you to get more price reductions. It's going to allow you to sell more houses. And it's also going to allow you to have happy camper sellers. I recommend Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays to make your seller calls. By the way, y'all, this was an art form on Tuesdays for me. Imagine me showing up on Tuesday in the office and I have 80 sellers to call. Sound fun? Need systems, right? So when I got to a point, I hired another, Shannon was her name, and she was my listing coordinator. Shannon did all of that. So when you get to a certain point, you fire yourself, right? So there's no reason for me to be making 80 seller calls a day. And that's the same thing for you. If you have that many listings, go ahead and start making those calls so we get a system in place, but you need a listing coordinator to make those calls and make your sellers happy. You need a listing coordinator managing your contract to close. So what you're doing is you're spending your time lead gen and lead converting. And we're going to fire ourselves from those other roles. So if they are not willing, okay, if we do not call them, you can get creative. You can let them fire you. You can pay them $500. If you can pay a transaction fee, if you charge one, you can automatically reduce your commission. I've had clients do all these things. I like to fire you. It puts the money where the mouth is, so to speak. And it gives you confidence. Let me tell you something. When I tell a seller, Mr. Seller, I'm going to call you every Tuesday. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. I don't care if I have nothing to say to you. You can fire me on the spot. It comes out with confidence. And that right there, y'all, is what you need more of. You need those one-liners and you need those programs that are going to inject confidence in you, confidence in using you. Dang. You didn't even know y'all were going to the Church of Marketing today, did you? This is just the beginning, folks. You can go create your own programs, specialized programs. Create your own. Here's the deal. I just gave you, in fact, I'm going to do this again because some of y'all joined me late. I have a marketing guide that I gave you. I'm going to send this to everybody again. This guide is a 70-page, 80-page guide that takes you step by step into everything I'm talking about. So I want you to take this thing, download it, print it off, study it. And I'm also going to give you, isn't it like Christmas on these trainings, y'all, man? It's like hooking you up like a tow truck over here. Just giving y'all some stuff. Here's the thing you ought to go do. You got to go do it. Doesn't do any good me sharing a link in a Zoom chat, does it? Does no good sitting here. You know where it does go good? When you click it, you download it, you print it, you apply it, you learn, and you master it over time. But you're not going to get too far off that guide. In real estate, marketing doesn't get too far off the beaten path from that guide. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to keep trucking because I'm wrapping up here. I got 5 minutes. You're welcome, Tanya and Bridget. Specialized program. That's one of the things I gave you as a form to create your own programs. Here's why. It's a blue ocean strategy. You can go after any niche, create a program for the niche, and you have your own niche. Like I took a client one time who was in the farm and ranch. I said, we need a blue ocean. I go, you know what I think would work is you should sell farm and ranches to doomsday preppers, people that are preparing for the end, people that are looking for a safe zone. You know what I'm talking about, y'all? When all hell breaks loose, where do we go? Well, we got 20 acres up there in Argyle. We're going to go up there. That's where it is. There's this whole market in farm and ranch I created for them out of thin air. And so what's next? Well, we named her. She's a certified relocation strategist who specializes in helping people relocate off the grid. You see, when we have that type of messaging, we have no competitors. And even when what I gave you today, y'all, like you may feel like you have competitors. If you apply everything I did with you today, you really don't have any competitors. Okay, it's just you. It's you in the marketplace. So if you can create, now you may have a niche. You may go after divorces, divorce people. You may go after probate. You may go after REO. You may have these niches that you go after. Maybe it's downsizing niche. Maybe it's name the niche, any niche. And what I want you to do is create a program. You're going to do it by naming it first. What are the features and what are the benefits? And with that guide right here, you can do that. You can do this with anything. And I want you to practice this because it's going to grow your marketing chops, skills, and knowledge. Going through this process. Here's what I would like for you to get to a place you get paid to think. I told somebody this the other day. I said, and she's the #1 realtor in her state. She's achieved real estate at the highest levels. And I'm helping her write a book, helping her create a course, helping her organize her thoughts, do what I've done. And the other day I was talking to her and she's like, man, this is like, I was kind of struggling through this. I was like, let me tell you something. Embrace the struggle because now you get paid to think. And that's what I would tell you in marketing. This is an area that you get paid to think. So not come up with everything on your own, but because I wouldn't tell you to do this if I didn't already give you models. I've given you several models that just model something, but now you know enough to go be able to create your own. And when you can create your own programs on the fly, just like this, and use them on the next appointment, that's when you'll impress me. And that's where I would love for all of you to get to that place where you're so solution-based, so pain-focused that you're able to create and see it on the fly. And that right there is impressive. That's what makes the best marketers and separates the best marketers from everybody else. But even a little bit of marketing is going to increase your income. I'm telling you, in the area of real estate, when you're out there, you're applying these things, you're going to see results fast. I don't know how many times I've had people, y'all on here, young people, I had somebody the other day that took 5 listings their first week of doing this stuff. I had an 18-year-old take 3 listings in one day. Listen, how do I do it? It's from everything I'm covering with you here. Now there's more to it, but this is a big part of it. So with that, y'all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this up, but I will stay on here I'm going to open it up for some questions. So we can end the recording here though, but because the Q&A won't be on this, but I will open it up for some questions for a few minutes. If you guys have any questions, comments, let's go ahead. I'm going to unshare this and let's hear from the audience. Whew. It's a lot of talking.
Ross, how did you come up with the postcard design and printing and stuff?
Canva is a great tool for all of you to design things. I think, and I didn't have Canva back then, but I think Canva, that CANVA, is the greatest piece of design tool for designing things ever made. So the answer is get a model of what you want the design to look like, and then it's just changing the message. Find a model always though on design, because like I can't say I've always done it. Like I don't know what the model was for the cover of Listing Boss. I didn't look at a book and say I want it to kind of look like this, but I had an idea of the layout of what I wanted from seeing other books. I wanted Boss to be big, to stand out, probably from seeing a book. So I had a visual. So in design, if you want to save a lot of headache, always either if you're designing it or you're hiring a designer, always give the designer a model to work from. Okay, good stuff. Keep trucking. Unmute, y'all. You can unmute, ask questions. I want to hear from you. I'm tired of talking one way.
Hey, Huss.
Yes.
Quick question. When it comes to like your easy exit listing agreement where they can fire you anytime, like how do you write like that contract? Like do you like make an addendum? Like how do you get it to where they can like cancel it anyway? Like what's the legalities behind that? Or like
Yeah,
how do you execute that?
Well, JC, you need to consult with your attorney. I'm not an attorney, so do your due diligence in your state, okay? And that's a disclaimer for everybody that in real estate, you want to make every state's different, right? So the contract in Florida may be different than the one in Connecticut, the one in Minnesota versus Texas. But the answer is usually found in special provisions in the contract. The seller can be released in this agreement at any time within the first 90 days. So I would simply write it in the special provisions.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
But by the way, in Listing Boss Academy, which you have access to, I believe, yes, you do. There's an addendum that you can print off, and it's something that you sign and give to them too.
Awesome.
Hey,
Thank you.
Good job, brother.
Hey,
You got calls to make, JC. Go ahead.
Every day.
Every day. That's right. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
JC's killing it, man. He's inspiring me, but you are too, Hoss. So let me ask you, some agents, they get sort of trepidatious about making these guarantees. Like, what if they get called on it? You have the restrictions and things like that. Of course, you have a program that's properly designed as you've described. Have you ever come into a situation where you've been called out, or like, what are the potential pitfalls there when you're making these kinds of bold guarantees?
So you need to have restrictions and predetermined prices, what those things look like. So the answer is always in price. If they're doing any type of performance guarantee, it's got to be priced to sell in 29 days. They have to have the home staged, inspected, everything up front before it qualifies for the performance guarantee. So I'm not going to, just let any seller come in and do it. They would have to fit in your parameters. And that is why it doesn't really ever happen. Because for me to sell a home in 29 days, or I sell it for free, they're gonna have to price that home to sell in 29 days. But I also don't want to have that conversation with them. Okay. That's the reason I asked the question, if I could get you an extra $20,000, $30,000, but it took an extra 30 to 60 days to sell the house, is that worth the wait? They always say, yeah, that's worth the wait. Then perfect. We need to do our full service marketing plan, because after seeing the home, seeing your situation, I can get you more money with this program. But have I ever been taken up on it? Honestly, I don't know. I've helped, again, I've been teaching agents full time all around, for a lot of people for 12 years. I've never heard of a horror story that came back and was like, oh my gosh, this is what happened. Nothing stands out that way.
Yeah, I think having the mindset of just, the marketing strategy, understanding marketing, putting that on a different level. I mean, just as you've explained here, but it's just like bringing your marketing mindset to a different level. It seems like that's what you're getting at.
That's what I'm getting at. I will create a program just to get the message. So if you want a message, create a program that gives us the message. And and I'm not going to give a bunch of examples here, but there's a lot of examples, just in this lately, of people that are getting it, especially in politics. You see this a lot in politics. They've been terrible at marketing forever. Finally, somebody came and taught them something, and now they're starting to learn. It's about messaging, but the messaging in the absence of a program is a bunch of words, like, I'll give you an example. Build Back Better plan. That's the 89-point marketing plan. What's in the Build Back Better plan? None of us know, right? You know what I mean? Think about it. But all you hear is Build Back Better plan, Build Back Better plan, Build Back, right? And you could use the same for other politicians, which I won't, but I want you to pay attention to how you're hearing things. And get your marketing mind going, because it'll make you even better. Pay attention to every single commercial. Start watching commercials. I watch every single commercial with my marketing hat on, asking myself, who, why, what, where, when, me. And a lot of times, here's what I end up with after I watch the commercial. I never understood how these companies just throw money at images. All they're doing is throwing money at an image, right? There is no message on the ad. It's a logo that just is burned in your mind. And they spend the money just to burn that logo in different medias. I want you to know, in real estate, that will make you go broke doing that. You don't have a brand in real estate. You don't have enough money to build that brand in real estate. Shift how you're thinking. I'm talking about from your business cards to your logos to your website. If whatever you think is important, that's what I would ask. And here's what costs you a lot of money in marketing: your ego. Ego costs a lot of people money in marketing because they spend all this money because they feel like they're going to get a result. Here's the thing: zero response, man. And that's the thing. When you do marketing long enough, you're going to learn that it comes down to zero, or it's not that much response. If I said, I'm going to mail these 1,000 postcards, and just say any average postcard, I'm going to mail these 1,000 postcards to my farm. How many people would you think would respond to that postcard without seeing it? Just in your mind, man, 1,000, you have an idea. Maybe it's 20 people. I'm going to tell you, you're crazy if you think 20 people will respond out of 1,000. You don't see, unless the message is good enough. So just know that the reality of marketing, and then I want you to start testing it yourself. So just learning it and growing. And I'm big in that. So for those of you folks that are with us at EXP, you're part of all of the training that I do. You're going to be, you're going to get a lot of that, because that's my favorite thing to talk about besides mindset. All right, let's keep trucking. What other questions y'all have?
I have a question. What happens? What advice would you give someone breaking into a new area of market to acquire listings? Because I'm here in the South Florida region. I'm with Tarek's group, but I'm down here. It's kind of feel like I'm by myself down here, to be honest. Far as support system, really breaking into to really acquire listings.
Well, no, you are by yourself. That's number one. All of you are by yourself. No, for real. Nobody was around when I was getting 80 to 100 listings. Nobody was around. I was in my room by myself doing this, having conversations. And that's number one is just, we are always going to be on our own. So two is you want to find a niche. So find a niche, that you can start in and go after, whatever that looks like. So based on, if you have a database, a sphere of influence, you start there. If you don't, then start with the lowest hanging fruit. I started with FSBOs and expireds, and that was a godsend for me. Those two niches gave me a place and people to call every day. 100% of those people wanted to sell. So I was able to sit there and set appointments in the morning and go on in them in the afternoon. And that's how I did it. And that's what a lot of people do. But don't look at South Florida as a region. Let's not compare us to South Florida agents. South Florida has not met Bridget, the agent. You know what I mean? They haven't seen you yet. So you're gonna step in and you're gonna dominate because you're gonna do the work. So I would start with a niche, get land voice, get somebody, that can provide you with seller leads. I like seller leads. I've never worked a buyer in my life though, Bridget, because I was able to do that.
I am currently working with a huge relocation. I have a client that's a doctor that's relocating from Minnesota to the University of Miami. So right now, I guess I got to become more even. I'm having to do more research because I'm in Broward County, not Miami-Dade. So really finding her, we got to find her. We're going to find a rental because she's selling a home in Minnesota, going to rent for a year until her home sale at least. And then she's like, Bridget, you've been so great. I want you to be my agent to buy. So good. So we got a great price range even for rentals, but it's causing me to research that area because it's not my typical farm area. Miami is not. I go, where my clients would like to go, but just trying to find an area that's, within the good distance from the University of Miami Hospital, that's not too far, and still kind of has her criteria that she wants in a home.
Right. So here's what I would do. Figure that out. If you don't know Miami, get with JC. He knows Miami, he's like, find somebody down there. That's JC. He's in Miami. Like he's crushing it, so like find somebody down there that you can refer to, somebody that, and this is for all of y'all. Like I'm in Dallas. If I'm I'm not going to drive to Fort Worth, but I have an agent out there that I can refer to. So like you may have agents around that you can refer business to. And then if you have one client, that's cool. But like, we want to see a period. I say 3 hours every day where we're getting more clients. So we can serve the other clients, but for 3 hours a day, we're shaking the trees. We're looking under rocks. We're getting deals. Yeah. One of the mistakes I think a lot of people make, y'all, is, especially when they're new, they spend too much time with one client. And I'm not saying you're doing this, Bridget, but I just want to say this, that spending too much time with one client. So that's great that, let's say somebody's selling and they want to do this, but like, don't spend all day with just that one transaction, even mentally. Like, don't let yourself do that. Be like, man, I need to get my 3 hours in. That needs to be the priority where you're the 3 hours, because that's what's going to get you more clients. And then you service them, let's say in the afternoon. So just make sure you're time blocking, and then mentally, like, don't go into a Monday and be all focused on this listing appointment that you set for Wednesday, and you can't wait to go on it, and you're thinking about it every day when like we should have had one every day. Y'all see that mindset? Like, this is what people do. They're like, well, I got an appointment on Wednesday, so I'm getting ready for that. But I'm like, what if you don't get the listing on Wednesday and we don't get one? Like, now we have a whole week of nothing. So like, don't let a whole week go where we get nothing, right? So like, it's fine to have a listing appointment on Wednesday, but don't let that make your week, be your week, and be planning your week accordingly around it. So like, remember, all we are is like, man, we're like high paid telemarketers in real estate. Okay. Can y'all see yourself as this? If you could just settle in to the fact that you're a high paid telemarketer, it's going to solve a lot of pain. Because that's what I look at myself. Like, I always look at myself as a high paid telemarketer. Like, why? Because that's what I do. I just want to get on the phone and set appointments. So, and that's what in real estate, that's what drives the results. That's what gets results. Some people say, I hate the phone. Be like, but let's say we hate the phone. We can't say we hate the phone. Let's say, well, I love Facebook ads. Okay. But don't those Facebook ads have to go some point and that will end up talking to you? Like, isn't the goal of every postcard to end up on a phone call? You with me? Like, every piece of marketing the goal is designed to end up here on the phone with them. People don't list homes without talking to you.
Yeah.
Right. So if we understand that, and we know that, the goals, I'm going to be on the phone anyway, settle into the fact that you're a high paid telemarketer and time block it. You're welcome for that advice, by the way. So you don't have to avoid it. Go ahead.
Thank you.
That wasn't all for you, by the way, too, Bridget. That was for everybody. Okay.
Oh, that's great advice. Great advice there, setting appointment. Can I ask one more question, or does someone else want to go?
Yeah. Anybody else? Go ahead. What's your question?
Okay. So the question is, right. So we've talked about a lot of different scenarios where you have that solution, right? You're excited. They ask the questions, you can present the solution. I was on a listing appointment, and it's a situation where they're almost using the house like for storage. They have so much stuff in there. They feel stuck. They can't move. They need help getting out of there. Have you seen any offers that you've made? I just was like, I can help you, organize that, find movers, find a friend who can help us move that into a storage area, get the house ready for sale. How have you dealt with that?
What's your name? It's Ivan.
Yeah.
Hey, Ivan,
So-
I know that this is, can be overwhelming at times. You lived in this house for 37 years. You had all of your kids coming through here and, all their stuff. Like, this isn't my first rodeo. In fact, I specialize in helping people downsize and helping them adjust their lifestyle accordingly. So I have a complete program to help you with that. It's the Downsizing with Ease system, where I've already prearranged all the storage, the partners, the people to help you do it, from anybody that you need. Like from the storage folks, you get discounts there. I'm going to go through, boom. You see what I just did? I created a program.
Yeah, you did. That's it. And that's what I was trying to do on the phone, saying that exact things. I mean, but to have it written out, thinking about, this now for a day, having that program.
I just wrote it down, Downsizing with Ease.
Downside, I like that. Downside. That sounds,
That's on the fly. As soon as you said it, I thought Downsizing with Ease. And then I got this
Program.
visual of that's how you listen. This is how you all communicate.
Yeah.
You communicate this way.
Yeah.
Well, Hoss, what's in the Downsizing with Ease program?
Right.
No idea. No idea. I'm like, what is it? I mean, let's just create it. Well, you need somebody, you need storage discounts. Like, who it is? Like the people that deliver those boxes and put them in their driveway type thing.
Right.
Like, go get a discount on those people. Go work at a deal.
Get it exactly.
Why? So we can say we have discounts with local movers and home storage. And I also said, this isn't my first rodeo. I help people with this all the time. That line, it gives them, I say that because I said, I understand you're overwhelmed. You're running around trying to figure out what to do with all this stuff. I said, I understand that. I specialize in helping people just like you through that. That's the reason I created the Downsize with Ease program. That was my exact language when you said that, right?
Well, it seems like you've trained your mind to really think in this way, that you're always looking to, yes, of course, we do this. That's the marketing enthusiasm. That's the energy of the message.
But it needs to be in a box. It needs to be a present.
Mm.
So visually, mentally, think of the solution as like a box. Look, it's okay. I specialize. That's the reason we're giving you the Downsizing with Ease. Like, it needs to be packaged is what we're doing.
Yeah. And the confidence of saying, yes, I'm glad you asked because we have something specifically made for you.
Yep. And by the way, when I said from the beginning, the words to say, like, that's not a million words. Like what I just said is I've never said those words, but I've said that framework millions of times. So it's more of the framework, right? I addressed how you feel, acknowledged it, positioned myself as the expert, right? I specialize in, I offered a solution, and that solution explained the benefit. I don't know if I quite got to the benefit, but that's the reason we're able to do blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's keep trucking. Good stuff. Few more minutes here. Any other questions, comments?
Hey, Haas, it's Joe. Good stuff. You mentioned you did a lot of FSBO and expired listings early in your career. Just started a team. We're starting to develop these systems. What are some good resources that you use to get the contact information on expired listings? Because we see them on the MLS, but we're typically getting the realtor's information. So we want to get the seller's information.
So RedX and LandVoice. I say both because I like both of them, but they provide you with all of the data, the seller lead data, and they have tons of different niches, but for sale by owners, expireds, absentee owners, circle calling for neighborhood farm numbers, right? You could say, I want all the phone numbers in Glen Hollow subdivision, and they give it to you. And I talked to the owner, the guy that runs RedX last week, and he was going on and on about how good their data is and has been. And so I was excited. I'm about to fly out there to go meet with them. They're all in Provo, Utah. I'm going to fly out there in the next few weeks to go meet with them to see. He's going to show me his stuff, what they're doing. But I would say get RedX or LandVoice, and regardless who you call, tell them I sent you and that I said that they would hook you up.
Oh, perfect. Sounds good. Love
and
that.
Always invest in the best data.
That's right.
So if there's a pro or a premium for more data, more accurate data, it's worth the money all day if you're going to, I mean, what is, let's say $100 if you can get one, couple cell phone numbers.
Right.
And it's more than that, by the way, but you get the point.
Yep. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Haas, I had a quick question. This is Jennifer Amsler.
Hey, Jennifer.
Kind of going off of Ivan's question, I have had a few situations with clients where I literally cannot help them. And usually it's to do with, hey, I want this house, but I need to sell my house first. And, they can't get a loan or something like that to be able to buy this awesome house that just came on the market. And so, I'll do my best, but usually it just doesn't work out because the market's so hot. So what do you do in the situation where you literally cannot help somebody with a program?
I got about half of that, what you said. You're cutting out. So ask the question again real quick.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're okay.
So I've had a lot of clients who a beautiful home will go on the market and they're like, I have to have that, but they need to sell their home first. And in this market, that's just not working out. And so I've tried to come up with creative solutions like bridge loans and, different, there's like knock and, just lots of different stuff. But what do you do with a situation where you can't solve their problem, but you want to?
Well, you first off, in that market, like it's been that way, right? Hey, if I sell my house, where do I go? Well, I would put something in that downsizing with ease program that solved that, right? And it would be something that's like where I look for, this is what we do. We help you relocate by even if it's like I've helped people even like relocate in 12 months. They sell their home now because it makes sense to sell the home now. And they're going to just post up and see what happens next. Like that alone right there needs to be a program of working with people to transition. It's a lifestyle is the word, by the way. What was the word I came up with? It was lifestyle, this strategic lifestyle checklist or something. Well, it helps you. It's a lifestyle change. Like to those people, here's the conversation that we need to be having with all these folks is lifestyle. Like they need to be having a conversation with themselves. Like this market, let's call it a double-edged sword for, lack of a better analogy. You're going to get top dollar, more money than you've ever got out of the property than you ever will right now today. Today, you can extract maximum equity out of the home. And I would always have stories. I've helped clients take out so much money from their home. They were mind blown when they saw how much money they got. I'm talking about millions, 500,000 here, there. They have more equity today than ever before. So where do we go? You see, that conversation is that it's like, we need them seeing that they're making a move for that investment. And if we're able to do that, they're willing to, we want them to maybe incur a little pain for that investment, right? If there is pain, it's not like it's all for nothing. So like get people on the equity that they have in their home and get them getting that equity out now while the time is right. And then you can always reinvest that equity later. Does it matter if do I have to find something to buy tomorrow or can I buy in 12 months? Don't be scared to have these people post up for 12 months, in someplace in a lease. You know what I mean? Like this is a lifestyle market, a lifestyle transformation market is what it is.
Love it. Good stuff. Thank you.
So and that's setting people's expectations, by the way, is what you would do with that. You need to have every person you talk to, you need to tell them what you just told me. Here's what's happening. So because of that, here's what we're going to do.
Great. Thank you.
And I'm going to be looking for a program somewhere in there to, as a way to help you communicate it.
Hi, Haas.
Hi, there she is. Tiffany, how are you?
Excellent. So I'm specializing in new home construction. And I'm finding that the most difficult thing is having some type of document readily available that like when a client calls in, I know, okay, this property probably has this kind of HOA or CCD or whatever the case may be. So the question that I have for you is there some type of thing that you came up with or spreadsheet that you came up with that helps you to be able to quickly identify resources that you need for that caller. And number two, if there's any types of like similar programs that maybe I could market as a new home designation specialist to be able to get more clients.
Man, that's some good. See, yeah, those are good questions right there. Let's see. So the first thing you want is a checklist for what?
Like today, I'm basically in the process. My goal is to just convert renters into buyers, because in Port St. Lucie, it's $2,500 to rent a house. And you multiply that by 3 because people want first, last, and security. Well, if you got $7,000 to be able to put down on a rental property, that's a no-brainer depending on what your credit score is. So I'm converting them to buy. I got 4 buyers right now. But the question is, like, you know, when I have this person on the phone, there's so many new construction companies here. I don't have like something that's readily available to where I can like just see like, okay, well, I probably should call this person or that person for this, because the thing is you want to try to get them pre-qualified as soon as possible so we know which property that, you know. And then let me see.
I'm going to share some things with you real quick. As you were talking, I was searching my computer. Property checklist, a home preview checklist, and a buyer discovery sheet. I'm going to share these with you, and then hopefully these will help you. Oh, did I send that to everybody? Or is that just, let me see. That was just James. Hold on. So I'm going to share this with y'all. It's a property checklist, and then a home preview checklist. So this is what you would take, like when you're showing a buyer, you would take this and they would fill this out for every property. So you remember, you ever get to the end of the day and you're like, I don't even remember what that property is. And then the agent's over there messaging you like, hey, what'd you think of the property? You don't even know. Like, that solves that problem. But this buyer discovery sheet is probably what you're looking for. I'm guessing it has a series of questions that, you know, who they are, where they came from, how you disposition the lead, see if those things help you. And just for good measure, I've got a buyer's guide here. I will throw in there as well. It's the buyer's guide. All right, let's keep trucking. Questions?
Hi, this is Regan Chappell. I'm in Greenville. I'm new with EXP, and you had just mentioned that agents with EXP have access to, I think it was one of your courses. Could you remind us the name of that?
Shoot me an email at Haas Pratt, and I'll see where you in the organization. But it's what the training that you have access to here now is a part of that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to send you this guide too, y'all. This guide will help you. It's called the Working with Buyers Guide. Done. Merry Christmas. All right. Okay, did y'all get all that? All I did was upload them. So if somebody says, do we get them? Links for the seller's guide, preview sheet, where do we find them? I just put them there. Thank you. Thank you, Matt. All right, let's keep trucking. Any other questions as we wrap up? We usually end, by the way, hard at an hour, but I had a call move, so I had some time. So I figured I would take some questions. Go ahead.
I have a question, Haas. This is Gina Black. I'm in Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I am just wondering, on your guarantee, do you adjust that like 60-day guarantee for luxury properties?
I would say if it's a luxury property, here's what you do. You want to find like let's say the average days on the market, and it's different today than what it was a year ago, 2 years ago. But like, you want to get aggressive within those, within that period of time. Like, I wouldn't want to say in a market that homes sell in a day, I'll sell your home in 120 days guaranteed, when homes are selling in a day. right? So like we want to be aggressive, and I would use that, use that a number that ends in a 7 or a 9 versus 60. 59 is better than 60, and 57 creates more interest than 60.
Okay.
But here's the thing
28
too,
right
you could just say your home's sold guaranteed if you don't want to put a date on it, or, a number on it.
now. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Does that help you?
Yes, it does.
Hey Haas, this is Tanya Berry, a newer agent in Illinois, Chicagoland.
Tanya, how are you?
Hi, good. Quick question off of that. So when you say like 29 days guaranteed, is that from like listing to close?
Yes.
Then? Okay. So then if like things come up with
No, contract
issues-
accepted, by the way. Not to
Contracts.
close.
Okay, got it. Okay, got it.
Because we don't have
I was gonna
control over the
say-
closing.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Y'all with me? We don't have control in the closing because, we have control over when we procure the buyer. So it's that it would be from the time that we're marketing the property. So from the time it goes active to the time that the offer gets accepted. Hey, why does everybody want me to email these? I can't email just everybody like this. Did y'all not get those? You did?
They're in the
Okay.
chat.
Yeah, they're in the chat. People are saying email them to me. So y'all, I'm not going to email them out just because there's so many of y'all that would ask that. So like I just put them in the chat. You can go there, you can download them. As I wrap up here, I will keep it going for a minute. Let's see. Hey, James, send me your address, brother. I got you. Perfect. And hey, y'all, as I wrap up, because we're out of time, but listen, I'm going to be on Thursday in Tampa, Florida, speaking with Lisa Copeland. It's an event out there. If I had the link, you can find it on my social media. You'll find it out there. If you like really want to go and you can't find the link, then let me know. I'll find it for you. But you can get registered. Just let me know and I'll send you the link. But it is in Tampa. It's like a half-day event. I don't know much about it other than I'm going to be there speaking, and I'm going to crush it for whoever's there. And I can't wait because I haven't been to Florida speaking in quite some time. And honestly, I'm not going to be traveling around the country like crazy this year speaking. I'll do more than last year, but in the world of digital and this, like if you want to see me, man, you may have to go to Florida, come on, or Texas.
Also, are you planning on doing anything in and around Dallas? Because I got several people and agents that work with us in EXP that are close.
Yes, we are going to be doing something because you're in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get something planned. And we do have something planned going, but I'll get the date. But thank you for letting me know because we'll make sure that y'all come down from Oklahoma. All right, y'all. Was this helpful today?
Yes.
I know it's a lot of info. I thought about it before I threw it at you, but I knew that y'all could handle it. And I just want you to know that this stuff doesn't change. It doesn't go anywhere. It's not like this is stuff that everything we do every day works from our marketing to the words we say. So it's just, just step in it. Remember, get in the arena, y'all. And I will keep this, I'll keep this up for a minute. So y'all that can go download those links that haven't already. All right, y'all have an amazing week and I'll see y'all next Tuesday. Let's crush it.
Thanks, boss.
We'll see y'all.
Bye.